are in the last hours of 2022, and I see a lot of people online very happy that this year is coming to a close. But personally, I like to find a more balanced approach to things. I like to find the good things inside the bad things, and for entertainment, it has been a spectacularly bad year for anyone who is a traditional fan of many of your larger movie franchises and TV titles. And although we had to suffer through a lot of this stuff, you have to look at the positive, and that is that Hollywood had everything they wanted. There was no opposition standing in their way. They made everything they wanted to make and poured all the messaging in that they wanted to make. And it's been rejected. The only thing they couldn't do was make people spend their money on it. So that means we have a win in this battle, this cultural war battle. And it's not over. In fact, I would imagine what's going to happen is they're just going to try and keep pushing this message. They may tone it down a little bit, but it's still going to be there. And I, for one, am not going to accept any of it because they're just going to try and be a little bit more subtle about it and still try and push the same ideas. Ultimately, it comes down to storytelling and heroism, and all these classic things have been correctly portrayed for decades now. And there are some people out there that have had a problem with the way these things have been portrayed, and mostly because they could have seen themselves on screen if they wanted to put in some effort. They actually wanted to improve themselves and challenge themselves a little bit. But that's not what a lot of this current crop of activists want. They want to be accepted for who and what they are without having to improve themselves one little bit. They want everyone to just look at them and assume that they are the bestest ever, and we should all just sit down and applaud that. Well, that's not the way the real world works. If someone were to pick you up and drop you in the middle of a forest, hundreds of miles away from civilization, you better learn how to competently find yourself some food and some shelter, or you're not going to last very long. And ultimately, that's what everything comes down to, is you have to be competent at being alive. And that's what these classic stories used to tell us, is to be improving yourself and to be better. Now, on a positive note for myself, 2022 has been pretty good. I've made a lot of really good friends. Some really good friends. Some I've gotten to know people a little bit better, and it's been pretty satisfying. I've gotten a chance to learn a lot of things that I didn't know, and which have greatly helped me refine my craft. I've had the opportunity to get some really cool action figures. I got like this Spider-Man here, and which, as I'm seeing, this is the Hot Toys Spider-Man classic suit from the video game, and they're just releasing now a Tom Holland version from the Far From Home or No Way Home series movie. And this one does not have a Peter Parker head sculpt. The other one does. The other one is $20 more than this one. And he comes with a diorama background. And the Hot Toys diorama backgrounds, I'm not particularly impressed with. They're cheap. They're small. They're a little flimsy. I got a diorama background for the Vision figure, and it's really not very impressive at all. The Spider-Man one is basically like a couple sheets of plastic with some print on it, with some holes in it that you can kind of configure to make it look like he is avoiding attack by the Scorpion. But you have options, and this is the main theme of this whole channel, is to empower people into taking control of the things that they want to collect. I got two official released figures this year. I got Spider-Man, and I got the Red Vision, the re-release of the Red Vision from WandaVision, because I figured it would probably be my last chance to get one of them. But there's a lot of things that you can learn how to do. You can make these things. The new version of this comes with there's two versions you can get. One is a deluxe version that comes with this little diorama base of snow-covered roof, and the other one is just the figure itself. You could save yourself about $80. You could probably save yourself a little bit more than that if you wanted. You could get a loose head sculpt for this guy. It could be Tobey Maguire, it could be Andrew Garfield, or it could be Tom Holland for about $20 on eBay. And you might not, if you're happy with this suit, which I think is the better one because it is classic comic book accurate Spider-Man, which is what I wanted. But you have the ability to do this, just a little practice, a little learning. It may get a little costly in terms of like you're going to try things, it's not going to work out. You're going to try it again, it's not going to work out. But eventually you'll come to a point where you'll find something that you're really happy with. And really that's my message for the new year coming. I would really like to encourage people to try things on their own, to try and make some things on their own, to make your display space, your collecting, very individualized to you. There's so many tutorials out there. Some may work for you, some may not. Some are a little bit trial and error. Some can be bad advice. Look for some of the reviews, and look for the finished products that you'll see on there. But there's a lot of opportunity here for people, especially like in the way of third-party figures. This is a third-party Sandman figure that I picked up for about, I think it was $155 before shipping. Comes with swappable hands and so forth. I got a comic book accurate Green Goblin. I have a Punisher figure coming. I got a wonderful figure of the Kingpin, depicted by Vincent D'Onofrio, for $185 from Susu Toys. These things are out there, and the best part about it is like you don't have to reward these companies who are destroying the things that you loved about these titles. So you have that option, and I would recommend supporting them because I think they're probably our last hope if you want something that's going to be looking like it did in the comic book. You're not going to see these things, as we saw with the Submariner being put out there. The character looked nothing and acted nothing like the character in the comic book. The character in the comic book is not going to be subtle about anything. He's not going to sneak into somebody. In the pages of the Fantastic Four, he came in with an invading army to the surface world. He didn't sneak in across a river and make up this kidnapping plot and this idea about how to sneak in and kill some little girl because she invented something. That is not Submariner. The other thing Submariner does not do is kneel. Submariner would not give in. He would rather die first. So when people tell you that, if you're objecting to this character and how he's portrayed, no, this character is not Submariner that was created in 1937, 1939 by Bill Everett. Character who's been around for decades. I mean, we're coming up on close to 100 years with this character, and what they put on film is nothing like that. And that's not the figure that I want in my collection. I want my collection to resemble the comic book characters that I grew up with and spent so many hours reading over and appreciating. So you have these options that you can pick up some of these things. Most importantly, your collection is yours. It doesn't have to meet with anybody else's approval but yours. And certainly if anyone comes along criticizing you for the things that you you collect that you like to look at that are going to make you feel better. You don't need them in your life. You don't need them like, harping on you, telling you their idea of, what is appropriate or not. They can just piss off. At the end of the day, this is all about like real people that deal with real life and have to find a way to make ends meet. And sometimes that can be pretty tough. Sometimes just the day-to-day things that you deal with in life are going to be very difficult. And it's okay to take a few minutes, look around at your shelf, and check out the cool things that are going to like relax you, calm you down. Maybe repose them, put them in different positions, make a new background for them, things like that. And nobody can take that away from you, okay? But this year coming is the same as every year. Don't go making these incredible resolutions that are probably unlikely to succeed. Rather, every day, find some way to improve yourself. Find some skill that you're doing, make yourself a little bit better at it, eat a little healthier, exercise a little bit more, and be a little bit smarter and proactive about your future. But you can take your collection, and even if it's just something small, you want to go and you want to cut out some cardboard and see what kind of background you could make to go along with your Spider-Man figure, your Punisher figure, your Captain America figure, your Iron Man figure, whatever. Try it out and see what you can come up with. I think you might be, even if you're not happy with the result, you will be happy that you made the effort to attempt it, and that's really what it comes down to. So, on behalf of the Laboratory of Mayhem, I'd like to wish everybody a very healthy and happy New Year, and hopefully I can have some pointers for you guys to pick up on with your own stuff. Take care.